to the Trinity Force Podcast. Yo, it's that Triforce cast beaming straight to your home. Grab a beer so we know Pone ain't drinking alone. Send an email, a quick tweet, just pick up the phone. Leave a message, hit the beep if you're a creep, watch your tone. Discuss the meta game, patch notes, whatever helps your stats most. Obi Pone Kenobi is your last hope to snatch gold. So grab your headphones and join in the fun. We'll try enforcing some jokes and some cringeworthy puns. Yo, we can make it together, people. Trinity Force Podcast. This boy's a second to none. But that's the end of the intro. It's time we begun.
Hey guys, welcome to the Trinity Force Podcast. My name is Adam Ponophobia Cogswell. You're listening to episode number 341. If you're watching on YouTube, I apologize for the live scene. Skype decided to update, and because everybody likes widescreen, Skype made everybody widescreen, so the scene is completely and totally freaking bonkers.
Awesome.
It
looks fantastic.
We might miss a lot. All of the podcast listeners might miss out on the widescreen experience we're trying to provide them. That's why we have these nice cameras.
Yeah. The widescreen experience that they're not watching right now.
Because we're using a free program, Skype is going to cost me more money. Because now I have to pay somebody to change the seed. Hey, if you want to help us with our seed, email me, because I really don't want to pay to update it, because fuck you, Skype, fuck you, Microsoft, and fuck you for changing your free program that I'm using and complaining about.
Wow, you sound like a giant crybaby.
Please help him out.
Are we going to get a list of how many things you're tilted about right now? Like,
no, I'm not tilted, though. I'm not tilted.
It doesn't sound like it.
Is it just normal Pone?
Yeah. Dude.
It's normal tilt.
Dude, I powered through rank this week, and I went 10 and 12 yesterday. Like, I'm in a good mood.
Oh, 10 of 12 or 10 and 12? Because 10 and 12 would be
10
bad.
and 12 is not good.
10 out of 12.
Oh,
so I went
okay.
10 and 2 yesterday.
Yeah, why wouldn't you just say that?
I meant to say that, but I was thinking 12 games total, and I don't know. But Punch is here.
Yes, I am.
Serial is here.
Obviously.
And Tally Nasty is back.
I'm back. Welcome back from your trip, buddy.
I am.
Cheer is here.
Hey.
You had a fun trip?
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say, yes, Adam, I had a wonderful time.
I was adjusting some settings. Yeah, we had a great time. I don't know if you want me to regale you with the lovely stories from Jamaica, Haiti, Grand Cayman Islands.
I'd rather hear about the people that were jumping.
That's a terrible
taking
thing.
A swim into the Atlantic.
So if you Google Royal Caribbean and you search it in the news and it all, on the very last day of my cruise, someone jumped overboard. It was a very sombering experience. There was an announcement that was like secret code word for man overboard by the captain at one point. And then like 30 minutes later, he said, well, we're turning the boat around. Someone jumped overboard. And the Coast Guard is called, and we literally just circled where he was thought to have jumped. They threw
thought he was in the ocean.
Yeah, they threw like these life rings that are like saltwater activated and power up these giant flares. It was pretty cool, but it was a very sombering experience. Like, it was hundreds and hundreds of people on the top deck just helping to look. And we pretty much circled this area for a couple hours until the Coast Guard helicopter landed on our cruise ship and took over the search, and a couple of Coast Guard boats got out there. It was unfortunate. I don't know the full details. I'm not going to really get into rumors. You could look at news articles online. But yeah.
Wow. All right, then.
Yeah.
That's one way to end the cruise. You're having fun. Everyone's drunk throughout the entire weekend.
The level of optimism.
That was like the last night of the cruise. I was so fucking tired from just going insane all week and doing crazy active all week that the last night I was just going to take it easy with a girlfriend, order a shit ton of room service. We had like 7 plates of food ordered to our room, and then we got that announcement. I'm like, oh, well, shit, I'm not hungry anymore.
Yeah.
But no, fucker. But no, that's it was really interesting and somber experience. Like I said, everyone kind of like banded together to try to like help, but at the same time it was very eerie because it's just pitch black in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It was 11:30 at night. You don't realize how fucking dark that is. Yeah.
I didn't realize it was the middle of the night that it happened. That makes it even
worse.
worse.
It was 11:30 at night. Yeah, so yeah,
Gotcha.
there's no chance. And it was the only thing that was confirmed that I've heard from multiple sources on board the ship was that it was from the 10th story balcony from a suite. So the chances of him even surviving the fall are pretty minimal. And if not, being
it's a little over 100-foot drop.
Yeah, I don't think he's surviving that fall into some.
No,
it's like hitting cement.
Well, Search Guard has officially called off the search too, as of this morning. I think.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So.
Well, now that was just 5 minutes of sadness.
Yeah. So how about them patch notes, guys?
So after that sombering experience, I think we should probably talk about patch notes because that's a little bit more happy and exciting than jumping off a building. Though you may want to jump off a boat after reading some of these changes.
That was even worse.
God, you tried. I guess.
I tried this
already. It's gonna be so rough. I am not ready for this.
You're going to hell.
All right. Well, let's talk about Gnar, shall we? Because this is patch 6.5, and we are going to talk about all the changes. Last week we talked about a few of them. For those of you that wonder, the Devourer changes actually didn't make it through on this patch.
They changed a couple other things on it, but the Devourer changes that we talked about on our last episode of PBE discussion did not go through.
Mm-hmm. We talked a lot about it.
Yeah,
like, that's a good 20 minutes that's now invalid, which is that's because they listen to us.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
They got our feedback and they said, you know what, these changes we're not ready for these yet. Trinity Force podcast set us straight.
I would like to see that.
We didn't even
Skarzard, can we get a little star on there and say, listen, just like they're going to listen to me about patch 6.7 when I say that, that ZZ Rot needs a nerf, or I'll eat my hat.
You were predicting that there's going to be one, right? You're not just saying, like, I know it's going to happen in two patches. You're saying by 6.7 there will be a nerf to ZZ Rot.
I'm predicting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just prediction.
What a bold prediction. Let's nerf the most popular item in the game that's breaking the meta.
I try, man.
Yeah.
I try to pick just some crazy shit. All right, let's talk about Gnar, because right now Gnar, if you don't play him or if you haven't played him, you probably noticed that he doesn't really get much play right now. He suffered some changes a while back that have made him harder to play at the top lane. So he is getting a base attack damage increase from 48 to 51, so 3 extra damage in each auto attack. Step in the right direction for Gnar.
That's actually a lot. Like, that doesn't sound like a lot. I think we discussed this last week, but that's way more than it sounds like. It sounds like a boring boring buff. It's not something super flashy where they add some new utility thing to bring him back into viability. But that's a significant amount of AD that you're getting when it was already pretty low. Like, since he's ranged, he needs to be kind of low to balance out the range versus melee matchups. But it's going to allow him to poke a bit better, CS way better. Like, 3 damage is a pretty big deal when you're talking about CSing early game. Mm-hmm. I like this a lot as one of my 3 top laners, and probably my best one. I'm really excited about just Gnar buffs in general.
Well, they did talk about his place in the meta and kind of why he's struggling in the context, which I think Chira touched on last episode, and how he does against tanks. And they mentioned that he's actually not performing as well as they expect him to against tanks, since he's supposed to be that melee bully, meaning he bullies melee champions. And he's got that percentage damage from his W. And go ahead, Chira.
That's the big part. The percentage damage from his W should allow him to at least thematically do pretty solid damage to tanks, because all he needs to do is hit him a couple times and a big chunk of their HP goes away. But we're not seeing that right now, so they're trying to throw some more power at him. Throw Gnar a bone.
I did play against a Gnar yesterday as Malphite, and it was really annoying. That percentage W damage was annoying. He did build Frozen Mallet to slow me if I even tried to trade, because I can't walk out when I'm being slowed, right? But the problem was that, I know I'm on the ZZ Rot hype dream, but I rushed ZZ Rot to be able to push back against him, and then I just used the Raptor Cloak buff to run around the map and make plays elsewhere, and he couldn't push as quickly as the minion. He couldn't push as quickly as if the ZZ Rot wasn't there, if that makes sense. I know that's a pretty broad statement, but it was really hard for him to get to the turret, push down the turret, because I was roaming around and making plays everyone else, and he couldn't bust me out of lane as hard as you think he should be able to. So I agree that Gnar needs a little bit of love, but give him too much, and then he's the end all be all.
You don't want him to be overwhelming,
like he was for so long.
Yeah, but considering his role is to really beat most of the people that are really, really strong on a top lane right now, that was kind of his job, is to just beat you out over time just because of W, just because he can hit you from range, and if he's not able to do that, that's his job. It's not great.
Yeah, but I like that they're starting with like a minor buff too, because with his kit not having a resource to manage and whatnot, and having like built-in kind of regen from hitting your Gnar, hitting Mega Gnar and whatnot, and going like it's kind of easy to see him coming back and becoming too strong. So I like that it's doing like a little bit at a time.
There's some other changes along as well. Passive rage, the Rage Gene now accurately displays the amount of bonus Rage Gnar gets over Mega Gnar. And R, real mature, fixed a bug where minions and monsters tossed by Gnar would receive damage after a brief delay rather than upon landing. So
never noticed it.
Stuff. Yeah.
I didn't play Gnar enough to notice it.
It's quality of life stuff that you shouldn't have ever noticed. That like I can't imagine there was a time where I was like ulting somebody and I caught some minions and they didn't die till they hit the wall or something.
Oh, if only that minion died.
Oh yeah, if it had died, I would have leveled up mid ult and I would have survived it. Yeah, I mean maybe that's what they're fixing, but
it said it was a brief delay, so
it makes sense. So I don't know. It's I don't even know what it's really doing. I've never noticed that.
Fixing bugs we didn't know there were.
Yeah.
All right, Hecarim got some changes as well. So essentially, it's E moves faster, knocks back more the further Hecarim travels. So what's happening is E Devastating Charge has a new passive to it. Devastating Charge bonus movement speed is now multiplicative.
That's different. So
like
I think
it used to be that
on
a
PB.
while ago.
No, that wasn't on PB though. Like we had the knockback distance we talked about already, but I don't think the multiplicative
one was not included.
Yes, that is new from Wednesday's discussion.
And we did talk about this quite a bit on Wednesday.
Oh, okay. So bonus boost. What's he building besides Boots of Swiftness?
He used to be building home guards, and that's why they took away the multiplicative, because you'd rush home guards and you have crazy ganks. But now that you
home guards, between Phage,
I mean, there's stuff from Masteries. You can run Quints. Triforce still? I don't know.
I'm assuming you're playing him out of jungle and not out of top lane.
You're probably getting Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yeah. Or Easy Rot.
For the moment.
Well, everyone.
Why not both?
Easy Rot. Knockback distance was 300. It now goes 250 to 450 based on the distance traveled. Devastating Charge now displays a level, a knockback, and speed on the buff bar. And they also fixed a bug where Devastating Charge would move Hecarim while rooted.
Now, this bug was noticeable. Let's just say if you're playing Hecarim and you would run up to, we'll use Lux. Like, Lux uses her binding on you, but Hecarim's within melee range and can hit Lux. His Devastating Charge is active on him, so it would kind of overwhelm her root, and you would continue to like move forward and knock her back the distance that you would have normally knocked her back, and it's not supposed to do that anymore. So I would take it that it might knock her back, but it shouldn't move you.
That's how I read it too.
I think what it used to do, and correct me if I'm wrong, is you would do your E and then you would be kind of rooted. It's kind of like it was
You'd be rooted where you ended, not rooted where you were.
Mm-hmm. So this is stopping it from going through altogether.
You should be rooted if you're rooted. You should be able to keep moving. So that's a good fix.
I guess there was some funky coding because it should stop any spells that are displacement, but it wasn't a spell that was. It was a spell that was already cast.
It
just turns into an auto attack modifier.
Time, so I'm kind of surprised they're looking at this now, because I have
maybe that
Hecarim's been released. I feel like this has been a thing.
Yeah, well, maybe it wasn't a case with all roots. Maybe you had to be really close and be rooted for it to have been taken case. Because it doesn't say that it's all cases. It just said fixed a bug where he could do it while rooted. So I don't know.
Do we see Hecarim being used at all in solo queue because of this change? Because of the entirety of the E change?
Well, I was just looking up. Like I don't know the math straight offhand because I had just seen that multiplicative versus additive change, and apparently, from at least one post that I had nothing confirming the math, it sounds like you'll be getting about an extra 100 move speed off that.
That's really nice.
So that's actually really, really huge that I wasn't considered when we last talked about it. So that's actually a lot. Like you're stacking it with more move speed, I think, instead of just getting a flat. I think it might have been like a flat percentage of your base move speed was added for the additive. I think might be how that works. Feel free to correct me if anyone actually has looked this up, but that's how I read it.
I haven't had time to run the math and numbers on it, but I like and I'm more interested in that knockback distance change. And I know you guys already talked about that briefly when I wasn't here, but and you guys were talking about how I don't know who it was that was pissed that if you could turn on a dime and then get the full bonus pushback. Yeah, that was Jared. Yep. Well, what you'll love even more is what I really looking forward to doing with this is getting the full knockback distance charged up, and then you ult behind them, and then
knock them back.
Yeah, and then you still have the E running, so it immediately knocks them back 450 instead of 300 might be a bit of a difference if that's a squish you end up getting caught out.
Well, and it's going to be even easier to run past people too if you are able to get that much extra move split,
which is
move speed
extra
from
damage too.
Multiplicative. Yes, yeah. I mean, you're going to be doing more damage. You're going to be able to get past people to knock them back. It's this is actually a nice change for him as long as like you can aim the knockback well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can help the enemy out.
That he's going to be seen dominating top lane again, but I used to play him a lot of the jungle, so I'm interested to try him again.
It's got to be a jungle change more than anything.
Yeah, it's more of like a utility and whatnot.
Well, the move speed.
Although the move speed turns into damage, yeah.
In his jungle.
And it turns into damage, but just on that one E, obviously, or the Q.
That's all about the upfront burst when you're coming out of the jungle, anyway. The CC and burst helps out a lot with ganks. I can see it, but he kind of. His Q costs, 45 mana per hit? I want to say, Cyril, do you have his...
32 to 40.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, if you're managing your rampage correctly, though, you shouldn't be using that much. Like, if you're able to keep it wound up in between camps.
Oh, right. Well, let's talk about Jarvan. Move on here. So they did two changes to Jarvan. They changed W and they changed his R. Cataclysm. First and foremost, Golden Aegis. Cooldown 20, 18, 16, 14, 12. That's what it was previously. It is now down to 12 seconds at all ranks. Flat 12
That's so
seconds.
Nice.
That's so nice because that was what you maxed
last.
No, not
W.
W's his shield.
Was always maxed last because it cost 100 mana at all ranks.
No,
and
but
changed that.
After they changed that, people were maxing that first, I think.
W? Not Q?
Yeah, I don't believe that.
The most recent version of him being kind of strong in the meta and picked all the time, you max W either first or second. I remember because I was late on that train. I used to remember maxing.
You would max W?
Why?
I think it was after the Q, yeah. Because
it would have to be second.
Yeah, it was second after Q because once you max Q, you don't really you stopped getting all the bonus armor and shit that you used to get from E, so you would max W second.
That does make sense.
I remember. I remember looking at it and
that,
being like, "Fuck, I missed that memo," because I remember it was whenever this change happened that I
mean, the slow stow goes up from 15 to 35% on W.
Well,
yes, it does.
And you would max it because of the extra HP and it wasn't such a mana drain as it used to be.
This ability was so bad for a long time because of its high mana costs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It got to the point where if you Q W, like if you Q E comboed and then hit W, you were So like you weren't able to really do anything after that initial just go in and whatever unless you had blue buff. So I mean that makes you stuck in the jungle. If you were playing top lane, it was whatever. They ended up reducing that W amount by what is it, around 60 now? I'm not.
It's 30.
Yeah, and then
30.
they got rid of the
go.
armor because he was super overpowered. So then people started maxing the W second.
Well, he got crazy free stats out of his E.
Well, you gave attack speed, you gave armor, it was crazy. I understand
it gave
why.
a bunch of stuff.
Also, if you QE combo, you're just doing it wrong, by the way, Jared.
EQ. It's EQ combo, but whatever. I'm just for the layman. If you were using his combo at all,
I guess this means that you don't max it anymore. Second,
you don't need to. It is the 1 point wonder. But
now it is.
All of these are kind of like his W and his E are really, really good by themselves. His Q, the damage going up and the shreds really, really nice.
It's also the cooldown on it goes down, right? I don't have his Wicca up or anything, but I remember once you get it to level 5 on the Q and you get a decent amount of CDR, maybe like 20%, really you could do 2 Qs per flag.
Yep.
Which means you can EQ, team fight a little bit, move backwards, and Q again to the same flag and get another
still
60
or something. Goddamn mana to use Q though. Shit's expensive.
I mean,
65 in max rank and 6-second cooldown.
Since
if
you mentioned that,
on a
Pwn,
squishy, it hits really hard.
They're also helping out with the mana cost on his R.
Yeah, cost was 100 to 150 between the 3 ranks is now a flat 100. And it also deals damage to all targets trapped inside the Cataclysm.
So as I said before the show, Jarvan can now chest bump groups of enemies into submission.
I think...
Well, just the R does AoE damage.
Just the R, yeah.
Yeah.
And that is a decent amount of damage.
I really like all these changes for solo queue, mid lane, Jarvan. Like, these changes are fantastic for anybody.
Mid lane Jarvan?
Yes. Main lane Jarvan that can now, at a cheaper, if you're maxing W second, which makes sense that you would be doing that. It's a shorter cooldown, means more sustain in lane. And it also means you're doing more damage because you're already building straight damage. You're probably building Titanic Hydra on him. You're doing more damage than you would before. But, I mean, he still suffers from the same problems out of the jungle he was before, where relatively slow clear itemization, not really his favor. Gets outclassed.
He didn't suffer from him a lot because he was a monster for forever.
Yeah,
but he only suffered from getting nerfed 5 times in a row.
Yeah, exactly. But he's being outclassed by a lot of other junglers right now.
Well, there's a lot of other junglers that are just really, really, really good right now. Jarvan was a champion that wasn't bad from seasons 1 through most of 5.
Mm-hmm.
So that's okay if he's not that strong right now.
Sure.
I love this R change because it's not... It almost becomes kind of like a Malphite ult, not that like, hey, you can do all the knock-up with the Malphite ult, but now that you're able to do the R's worth of damage on multiple people if they're inside that Cataclysm, if you can get a really nice Cataclysm...
And there's many times that I felt like late game with him, you wouldn't have enough mana to ult, so that's also kind of nice. I'm looking, let's see... Yeah, by leveling E, the cooldown on it goes down, which is nice, and then...
So I like one change. One change I really like about that is that it doesn't affect his pick potential. Like, it doesn't buff his pick potential, which was already pretty... Like, you could do the EQ flash ult if you wanted to, and that doesn't make that get out of control, because they're not buffing that damage at all, but instead rewarding people who are able to hit multi-person cataclysms.
Right.
And so I think that's way better. And honestly, that stacks well with the W as well, because you get more shield the more targets you hit with W. So you're rewarding people for playing him a little bit differently than when he was really strong and would just say, I'm going to go YOLO onto somebody super far away. Everyone follow up if you want. Otherwise, I'm going to kill him by myself.
I love it when that was possible.
I'm trying to think if you would still max the W a second. I
think you max R. I think you max R. I think that's the end of the debate.
End of the debate.
I still, even though E isn't giving all of those extra stats that it used to, it still gives 22 attack speed at max level. Like, that attack speed is still really, really
you're getting 3 per time you level it up. It starts at 10, scales up to 22. The base damage on it actually isn't that bad. You're getting 50 base damage per level.
And the cooldown goes down.
The cooldown goes down a little bit. It's only 13 to 11 seconds. But
so,
the W that slow is not, well, it's only going up 5 per level. Yeah,
But the W, like, maxing that so you could have a shorter cooldown may have been by itself worth it. But now that it is, no matter what, 12 seconds standard, put 1 point in it and just coast.
It could depend on the game. I could see you maxing W I could see you maxing E if you get ahead, and then maxing W if not so much, and you need to be tankier for team fights.
Or if the team doesn't have any slows.
It might not look like the shield is scaling that much, but you have to remember that's per enemy champion affected by the slow.
Right.
Which also scales, which could mean if you're playing a style that I'm talking about with
more
the trying to get more people. Well, if you're trying to get more people in there, if you ult onto 3 people, it's not like you've CC'd them. You just put them into an area. Then so getting that W, like if you get a very strong W off, they might be baited into thinking they're going to be able to do a lot more to you. So yeah, it could be the style of game, the style of comp you're playing. If you're playing pure pick, then no, sure. If you're going to just go straight damage because that's what you're trying to do. But if you're playing for team fights and trying to catch a lot of people, maybe W. I think I'm curious to see how much he comes back into play. But I really like. I think everyone here likes the changes. Maybe not. Maybe not punch as an AD carry.
No.
So you're thinking
they don't excite me.
So Pone says he thinks he's going to be coming back on the mid lane. I think this is primed up for a jungle comeback. Warrior into tank.
Leona Jarvan bot lane.
I think he has too many other problems out of the jungle than just a few changes like this. He can't really build damage, so Cataclysm doing damage in a circle, doing 100 damage in a circle, while
that's a little thing. I think it's more, I mean, that's not
the
little.
cooldown of W though, you're just putting 1 point into it.
But
before you had to max it.
A lot of damage on its own without any of the scaling. Like saying that Cataclysm isn't going to do anything. I'm looking at the damage right now. Like
200
at
plus
max level by
450?
itself, Cataclysm does 450.
Plus
this is a tank running in
AD.
doing a 450 plus
resistance
AD.
Like resistance is going to lower that significantly.
That's fine.
Well, if you EQ them, they don't have any resistances. You've just shredded half their armor.
You're shredding the resistances. Not to mention, like, how many times are you going to be ulting on somebody with high resistance?
How many times do you actually get the EQ onto a full group into an ultimate?
You're not saying that you're going to get it on the full group, but like you're doing AoE damage now with it. And then if you're ulting, for the most part, you're either ulting, you're wanting to ult a high priority target to keep them in an area for your team to either bomb the area
conversation
with AoE or
aside, because I know you can go on forever and argue with this, Sean, is that, and we have a lot of other patch notes to talk about.
I mean, that's fine, but to say like, let's just say this. To say that Jarvan isn't going to be doing damage because of resistances on squishy targets is a really, really bad way to phrase an argument.
And that's a fair point, but Jarvan still suffers from a lot of other issues out of the jungle.
That's fine. This will make life easier for him.
Jarvan's always lurking on the edge of the meta.
Yes.
So I think it's only going to take small changes to bring him back. Yeah, maybe it's not this, but he's lurking. He's watching. He's looking at that Kog'Maw and he's like, yes, pick me. I'll take out that Kog'Maw.
Especially with the Kog'Maw changes.
Well, we already spoke about the Kog'Maw changes and how this essentially, the Kog'Maw changes that we're going to talk about essentially just make it so he's not a mid-game terror anymore. He is a late-game terror. Attack speed growth stat went from 1.5% to 3.5%, but that's because they removed the passive attack speed he would gain from putting points in the W. W also now deals 5 to 25 base damage on hit rather than a minimum of 15, and Caustic Spittle's mana cost has gone down by 20 to 40. So we kind of touched on this last episode, and that's
we touched significantly on it, and it's essentially you end up at the same rate, like at level 18. As if you max W. It's going to be an early attack speed nerf if you're talking about the W getting a bunch of extra attack speed if you're leveling at first, but at level 18, I think it was like maybe 2% off at the end.
I think it was a little bit higher at 18. Went even around 17.
Oh yeah, that might have been right. Yeah,
it is a slight nerf. I think it was like 1 or 2% off. I can't remember what you said.
Well, it was 2. It was 2 by 17, which is 34%, and I think it was 35 was maybe I don't remember what the max was on the skill as is live, but I will know in about 3 seconds. It's 35. So yeah, it's a 1% nerf at level 18.
Let's talk about
That's it.
Let's talk about Nautilus.
Okay.
If you're to touch on that, like Kog'Maw, I probably don't need to ban him anymore. By the way, guys, he's not like going to be super carry unless your games are going 50 minutes all the time. Then maybe you can consider banning him.
Then you might have a really bad time.
Nautilus, as we all said, Nautilus is kind of like the end-all be-all top lane right now, along with Malphite
and support.
And support. They have reduced the damage of Riptide. 60, 95, 130, 165, 200 was previous. It is now 55 to 175. So reducing damage as we roll into... Well, reducing damage across the board, but most significantly seen by points 2 to 6.
It's 5 per rank. It goes 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, I mean that's what they needed to nerf. He can do too much free damage with it hitting multiple times, and it's very easy to do that because people usually if you're next to a Nautilus, you're trying to run away. And if you hit Riptide, it's probably going to hit multiple times, even though it does reduce damage with each hit. I think it's 40% after the first, but that's still just free damage. And if you get hit twice, that's crap. Still like 90 damage at level 1. Maybe a little bit less now, and then if you get it a third time, talking like 120 damage at rank 1 from just one skill.
They didn't hit anything that made Nautilus like his CC, his kit, his initiation. They just kind of give the hidden damage a little love tap.
I don't see any reason not to continue to pick Nautilus though, even with these changes. Yeah. Shield, Easy Rot, Sunfire.
It gets rid of upfront burst. It's good. It's a smart change because he doesn't need to be doing upfront burst.
Yeah.
When he jumps in on a target. So that it's not his theme. He doesn't need to do that, and he was
still leveling E first in lane.
I think so.
I would think so.
I mean, you will just for the clear ability. Like, you can, if the enemy laner leaves lane at all, you can just instant clear and drop ZZ Rot and leave to go do whatever or take the turret. So the Riptide's really nice just for that. Even though the damage has been reduced, that's more for trading than almost anything else.
It reminds me of Corki's Frostbomb nerf recently. Same thing. You're still maxing Q first, I believe, but it's just it's unfortunate, but you're
it's
still
just not
max
as
it.
good.
Yeah.
Pantheon, E damage down, R costs less, but gives no mana back and has a greater cooldown when cancelled. That is the TLDR of it. E, Heartseeker Strike. Total base damage to champions was 80 to 320. It is now 80 to 280. Total ratio to champions was 3.6. It is now 3.0. Damage to monsters has been increased by 10%.
That's bonus attack damage, thankfully, because if I had just found out that it was a 3.6 total AD ratio on E, nice. I would have thought we were back in like season 1 in terms of number balancing.
This was needed because Pantheon's damage, especially if he got ahead, got crazy.
I think the LCS showcased that.
Yeah.
When Hony basically just stood in the middle of a team fight and Heartseeker Strike 3 or 4 people when they all melted. Like, well, that was gross.
I love that the pro. I mean,
more people don't play him.
I'm not surprised the pro scene shows us this every once in a while, but it reminds me of, well, actually, Hony did this too with Rise, where a champion that no one was like, oh, they're not that overpowered. Oh, holy crap, they might be overpowered. We got to do something about that. Happens, and everyone sees it live.
Well, thankfully, the pro scene wasn't the one showing this. It was live this time because Pantheon has been picked.
I haven't seen him.
He's been in and out of solo.
I've
been seeing him a lot. I haven't seen him at all.
Really?
Yeah, you see, because of the mastery changes, because Grass procs off at Q, he's a monster in top lane.
You can do a lot of damage. It gets to the point where if he has if he pops Ghostblade, he can 1v1 almost anyone if they're auto attack reliant, just from being able to reset his block with W. It's been he's been really, really good for a while.
Wait,
this was a needed change.
Oh, he bumped up in 6-3. Okay, yeah, because his win rate's gone down the last few patches from 56 to 55 to now 54, but he's still 4th in top lane in terms of win rate, which is
his win rate's gone down and he's still 4th.
Yeah. He's amazing.
Who's up there?
Tally, were you Googling Grasp in the middle of that? I saw your face.
His Q procs?
Yeah, any damaging source will proc Grasp. Darius Q will proc it.
Whoa.
Yeah, read Grasp and then dying. Damaging. It's just the next damaging.
It just says next attack.
It says next damage.
Q just...
I don't think that's right.
No, Darius Q will proc it, too. Your
a lot
next
of weird
attack
looks right now.
Yes, your next attack. And Q counts as attack, so does
Pantheon's Q doesn't proc on hit effects. It never did.
I think
it doesn't need to proc on hit effects. The next attack. Just like I've seen it. I've watched Darius Q spin around and smack you and remove the life from you and take it. And it's not just his healing. It's the grasp animation. Unless it's a bug and I'm fucking crazy, you can call me crazy. It's fine.
Yeah, well, one of those is like undeniable, but the other one we're not sure of yet.
All right, that's fine. You can call me fucking crazy. I'm all for it.
I'm curious now.
For the actual, I can go into custom, but no, I'm kind of sad because I played him out of the jungle, and his jungle win rate was just below 50%. And this is, I know they gave a little bit of damage back to monsters, but this is going to hurt him, I think. I know his win rate was pretty high out of top lane though, so.
Oh yeah, this hurts him. This scales back his win percentage. Ooh, as I screw my microphone. Let's talk about Grand Skyfall as well. Cost 125 mana, has gone down to 100, but if you cancel it, it is now a 30-second flat cooldown from 10. So you can no longer try to jump in and decide you don't want to without being punished for it, which sucks. But
this sucks for solo queue because very often you'll start that and then your team will fucking start to back off as the indicator starts to show, and you're like, oh, I have to cancel it because my team's retarded. It doesn't listen to the 17th ping.
30 seconds still isn't that long, though. I mean, when I first read this, I was like, well, that seems weird that they'd make R harder to use, but then I saw it used to be 10 seconds. Well, that's ridiculous. Yeah, at least make it punishing.
But it's just, yeah.
So quick question. I know his Q does give you crit if you throw it at a 10% or is it 10% or health?
It's below
50% maximum health target.
Like
is that the only time you can get it to crit, or does it proc off of your crit chance?
That's the only time, I believe.
It's
okay.
the only,
I think that makes
any
sense.
damage that he does after 15% counts as a crit.
Yeah. He doesn't. You can't crit besides the E interaction.
Yeah, it'll just do that extra
sure.
damage if they're already that low. And I'm seeing most people are running Thunderlords on him anyway, because you can get the easy proc from the Heartseeker Strike.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you can land Heartseeker Strike, you get the free Thunderlords proc.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like a quarter of a second interval. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You spend less than a second and you get Thunderlords to the face with a bunch of spears.
Let's talk about Quinn, shall we? Q, blinding assault. Fixed a bug where some empowered basic attacks would miss while nearsighted.
That's great.
Like
those
Udyr
stupid
Spear
that
Stance.
didn't.
Like, I finally got her. And then you don't got her. And you're very sad. You're a sad bear.
Wasn't there a bug in the LCS a couple weeks ago where that happened to somebody? There was something that was supposed to hit a Quinn to kill her and it missed. I don't remember. There was something
familiar.
Somebody bitched about it. They
I think there was a pause. I don't know what it is either.
Needs to happen. Should be able to hit her, even if you're blinded and you guys are standing in the zone together.
Mm-hmm.
Renekton changes. So they've changed Slice and Dice. Fury swipes. Slice now generates Fury instead of Dice. So Slice now generates Fury. Dice does not generate Fury. So you're
Fury on both.
Well, yeah, sorry. Dice does generate Fury. You get Slice and Dice both generate Fury. The Fury generation on minions has gone down by 0.5, though. It used to be 2.5. It is now 2.
Seems like an overall buff. Yep.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, you're ultimately gaining more Fury just for using this and hitting stuff with it. That's wonderful.
Well, now I can know where I'm at, and instead of because most people would slice in to their combo and dice out. Now I can slice in and get my Fury by going through some minions and proccing my dice.
Dice out.
And then dice out and have some Fury back up just in case.
I think it makes you a bit more unpredictable in when you're trying to go in. Whereas if you saw somebody before who had the Fury already and they wouldn't generate it by Eing in, now if you're like getting close to that point, you can just use that to get that last little bit, and then you've suddenly surprised them really hard. Yeah. That's nice.
Dominus bonus health 200 to 800 is now 250 to 750. So giving some early, taking away some late. So giving a little bit more.
It's so weird. That's so weird to me. It goes plus 50, plus 100, minus 50.
Yeah,
are the three numbers, which is
mind you, from rank 2 to rank 3, the health amount doubled from 400 to 800 before. Yeah. Like that's a giant amount of health to get for pressing a button.
Did they just pretty much undo a change they made? Because didn't they? Like they were like, oh, Renekton is too strong early and too weak late. We're gonna homogenize him like every other champion would like to do. So they changed his ult to be like stronger later, and now they just kind of undid a little bit of that.
Yeah, but they also changed the way everything on Renekton worked after that too. Remember, they changed how all of his Fury gets generated. They changed how much damage he's doing. They changed how much.
Yeah, but that
was well after it.
That was all after Renekton.
That entire patch, their like reasoning for why they made all those changes was they wanted to kind of make him more across the board and less of an early game bully. But
the original change that you're talking about, it went from 300 to 600 to the live value of the 200 800. That was before the huge Fury change that everything. So he already had that weird doubling every rank kind of numbers, which actually was still the same on the magic damage too. It was doubling every rank.
It's not a big deal though. Like, if you remove some power from a champion and then you start changing everything else in the game from items to masteries and stuff, it is it's reasonable to start giving them some power back in their kit when other pieces of the game have changed.
So Renekton buff, Gnar buff. Does that mean we get to see Renekton and Gnar every game again?
And Shyvana.
I mean, we might be seeing. Yeah, we're seeing Shyvana a lot now. The Renekton buff, getting an extra 50 HP at level 6 is really nice, though. That's really, really nice.
And
let's help his early game, because that's what was really concerning about Renekton.
Well,
there's a sarcastic face going on.
I think it'll be hard. I think Renekton can still do very well. I think this does help him quite a bit. And should see his win rate go up a little bit. But makes the and it makes the players that have been playing Renekton and been truthful to him for a while. They'll have more utility in their kit.
As to those who have been just lying to Renekton,
yeah,
the past.
I mean, you're lying. Like I can play you, I swear.
Will be rewarded.
But if you're looking into the Nautilus and Poppy can shut Renekton down, and Renekton can shut them down. So there's like a skill matchup involved there and how they're playing. Malphite is always Malphite, and then Shyvana's not going to come back in the top lane. Trundle.
I think Trundle's always been good against.
Yeah, Trundle's
Renekton.
always been good against anybody who gets health or resistances throughout the
game. Thankfully, there's nothing in these changes that are in his kit right now that's going to make him become again the standard, the top of the top tier. Right now, we have like the Nautilus tier.
It'll help him out a little bit, but he's at 47% win rate right now, so maybe I'll bring him up percentage and a half.
I think that has to do something with what the game is, though, too, because most of the solo queue games I play last 32 to 40 minutes. Just in general.
Because you're in gold, Pwn.
Hey, listen, I'm flying through gold. It's not even a problem. You guys can give me shit all you want. I will be back through
They don't know how to close out games,
But
as we saw with that
then-
Jax that wanted to go push bot lane, even though we had Baron buff and 5 up versus 3.
Oh,
He sounds like a wonderful League of Legends
you
player.
say that, and then I'm fucking turning into Chira. You say that.
You say that, but
No, I played with Chira and Whale this weekend, and we were playing high plat, mid to high plat, and
that was so fun.
And that game was like, it's night and day different of how those games played, and it was so much more fun to play in mid to high plat.
I don't know what you were talking about. We had a Rammus who got mad because I was KSing him. So
well, we had a Vayne that couldn't see us
Let's
either,
put
but-
some things into perspective here.
How dare you?
Well, to be fair, Chira did dragon form in to steal the kill as he flew
I needed
over
an
top
assist.
of him. He
It
literally
wasn't
just
to
goes
steal a kill.
zoop, and the burn damage
I
steals
hadn't
it.
hit him yet. I really wanted at least some kill participation, and I took the fuck out of that. Because that's what happens when you need Devourer.
He didn't even try to take the fuck out of it, though. He soars over, and the magic damage is like, and takes the kill. It was
It
fucking
does a lot of
hilarious.
damage. I like it.
I want you to go,
I like it a
can you
lot.
cut that Plays TV?
If I have it, yeah.
Yeah, you should.
Let me see. I'll bring it up after this.
Okay, so Shen, he's got to change as well. Not very ninja-like. Increase the visibility of Shen's shield while channeling, which is awesome. So, notice if you're getting ulted. Stop running away. The target's ally screen is now color-tinted during Stan United's channel.
Very nice.
So this is going to be nice as long as the teammates of Shen players pay attention, because there are a lot of times where somebody's dying and Shen saves the day, and it's like, keep going in so I can immediately taunt them, but they keep running away because they're pussies and they can't pay attention to what's going on in their character. Hopefully this helps with that.
Well, it's the same thing that happened with Chrono Shift from
Sejuani
Zillion. They finally got
changes.
that.
W.
Increases the visibility of Shen's
Yeah,
shield.
something's
How many
wrong.
times you're going in on someone, you don't realize that Shen's about to come in. Uh-oh. Something's
I'm
wrong?
still
Oh, I lagged terribly.
We're all
Sorry.
good.
I was lagging really
Me too.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think everyone was.
I think everybody did. I think my internet's kind of eating shit tonight. So
It was so bad that for 10 seconds I heard everybody talking very quickly at the same time, and I just decided to not say anything.
Sean got really scared.
It's gonna sound
This is why
it's gonna sound way more awkward
locally.
when everyone just like stops talking for a few seconds, but we all heard just random stuff. No, I was thinking it's like Chrono Shift from Zillion.
Yeah.
They finally changed that so you had the yellow border when you're ulted by that, so you know better than just to look for like the 3 little circles around you.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they're going for both the shield being upped and this for the ally knowing that they're getting hit by it, I think is really good.
And I think it's just clarity for both sides, because increasing the visibility of the Shen shield will also help the enemy realize, hey, there's a Shen that's about to appear. And
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
get away
happened
from
too.
that guy
think
before
that's
he
kinda what-
taunts you and
yeah.
kills you.
I think that's why they say not very ninja-like.
All right, let's talk about
Not very
Sejuani. W animates faster, so now you can get that auto attack reset off, and E deals more damage early. We kind of talked about this, so I mean, we really did talk about the W flail, the Northern Winds being reset more quickly. Permafrost damage was 60 to 180. It is now 80 to 180, some more damage early. And the Glacial Prison, we talked about this. Crystal Clarity now shows the area effect target indicator.
Yep,
Who the
no
fuck
changes
uses
there.
Those?
All right, so we talked about Soraka as well. We're not going to go over that. If you want to hear the discussion, go back to episode 340. We spent about a good 20 minutes on her. Before I do want to, I would like Tally. You had a point on Soraka. I think you should bring up here real quick.
So while I was driving back up from my cruise, I was listening to you guys and those lovely voices, except for Pones, because you sounded like death itself. But the entire time I was wanting to chime in and be like, you guys. The way they're reworking her, and I know you guys went over the numbers and stuff, so I won't re-go over that. But what they really did with her is they got rid of the heal bot Soraka, just sitting back and spamming the W's, and that's all you really had to do to be useful. They're making you have to land Qs to get more out of it, so they're making her more interactive. And her entire kit and thematic that they were wanting to do when they rework, so you're required to be more interactive. So it brings her up in if for those that could use her correctly, marginally. But overall, it's going to be a lot less brain dead. It's going to be a lot less frustrating to play against, and I think that's a smart way to kind of rework her. Plus, I mean, she was always supposed to be like a battle cleric. That was what they said when they originally reworked her more recently. So this kind of fits the theme. Battle cleric. I remember that. I mean, I think they even released a skin called that after.
Well, let's talk about talent. There you go. I like that. I think that's a good way to put it, and something that we missed out when we were talking about her the other day.
Yeah.
Thematics goes a long way with playing a champion. I still don't see battle cleric though, but maybe it's because I have a different idea of what a battle cleric looks like.
Yeah, I don't play any D&D, so I'm just
yeah, throwing bananas and little stars falling from the sky doesn't scream battle cleric to me either.
I picture like dual staff wielding
a goddamn paladin.
I just think it was a smarter way to go about it than just nerfing the numbers. They make it more interactive, so there's more counterplay. Point and simple.
More utility also with slows.
Mm-hmm. Talon, our cost has gone up. I was reading that differently than what I did.
What's the suspense? The suspense there was
Talon, our cost is up.
It has a higher cooldown.
Put this one to bed, boys.
Is this Mad Money? I feel like this sounds like Mad Money with the suspense kind of deal with it.
Cooldown 76. No, all right. 70, 75, 66, 55. That's what it was previously. It's now 180, 60. Thank God.
You missed out on the cooldown, not down. Actually up.
Cool down.
Cost 80, 90, 100 to 100 in all ranks. Thank God, because that was probably the stupidest part of this kit, was the fact that you have an ultimate that turns you invisible at whim and does AoE damage. Plus gives you move speed increase. And it's
if you had any CDR early game, you could pop that every minute. So
yeah, he has it up all the time.
Talk about snowballing. I mean, you get one kill and then you have some cooldown reduction. You're pushing waves and dealing damage all over the place. Yeah, Talon's always been that type, and it's a good quality of life change that probably should have been hit a while ago. I'm surprised they never even hit it with like the BC changes, if you remember that from season 3.
Are you talking about when they had Black Cleaver every single fucking
Black
game?
Cleaver's everywhere. Black Cleaver Vi, never forget.
Black Cleaver.
All Black Cleaver Darius's, never
forget. 6 Black Cleaver teams, yeah. I hate fucking assassins, so good riddance.
Urgot changes, and I think Serial has the biggest hard-on for this. I can see it like protruding.
That was the fist. This was the size of of the boner.
Wow. All right, Urgot base attack damage has gone up from 52 to 54. W Terror Capacitor duration was 7 seconds. It is now 5 seconds. However, it can now be cast while channeling R. So that's his W, his shield and
that's
slow.
Really, really nice when you're stuck in one spot and can't do anything, especially not shield yourself. You can now shield yourself and hopefully not die before your ult ends.
Hyperkinetic Position Reverser now fears enemies within 375 units around Urgot for 1.5 seconds after completing the swap.
That is so fucking cool.
So you can run in and be a scary boy.
You can
That's all I hear.
So this is kind of funny because it kind of fits along with the Jarvan change of getting more for jumping into an enemy team. Like that's about the same kind of radius, I think, as Jarvan ult is. And you're getting a 1.5 second fear. 1.5 second fear.
How many seconds can we talk about?
For free, and you get the ability to add a shield before you do it. And I think the big thing is not that like the loss of time on the shield isn't really that bad. The only thing that it possibly hurts you is that when you try to trade and you're trying to stick onto a target, the longer that shield's up, the more you get to slow them, because as long as the shield's up, you get to slow people with your auto attacks and your Qs. So they're taking away a little bit from that so they don't overtune them. But people don't remember that you, in addition to getting that shield when you jump over to them, you also have flat percentage damage reduction
when you ult.
And I think that starts before you even complete the ult. I think it's when you start channeling it.
As soon as you activate the ult.
So you get that, and if you
Plus
add
the
shields,
extra shield.
if you add shields to damage reduction, that scales way better than not than pretty much anything else. So it's pretty fantastic. I'm real excited about the change. I'm not going to talk I'm just going to keep talking as though there wasn't any lag.
It's actually
you made it
larger
through.
than
That was
Cataclysm.
fine.
Cataclysm's 325. This is 375. Yeah,
So
everyone always forgets about those flat resistances, though. I think this is kind of an interesting change. It gives him a little bit more leeway to ult into like aggressive lanes.
Well, it's not even
very
flat
nice.
resistance. It's flat damage reduction now.
Oh, yeah,
Like it used to be resistances, and now it's 30, 40, 50% reduced damage. It's kind of like Alistar's ult, except way less and way
like Alistar,
no CC
but
reduction
less.
too. But with more CC, but kind of doing like
But it can
essentially doing
swap.
like a pulverize that fears people when you get
It's
to
a
when you
reverse
complete
Alistair.
Yeah, 1.5
So I think
seconds. That's
a lot. But I
Yeah.
think the thing is anyone who stands in that area either has to already be locked down or not paying attention, because that's
Well, keep in mind, they're probably going to be moving forward to try and save their ally after the swap. So if they move forward into Urgot's area, they're going to get punished for it. So they actually kind of have to back away from that area or kind of go around it awkwardly.
I think that plus, I think you're going to be able to combo it with more lockdown. I think the idea I was thinking of in chat today was like a Mumu ults or Sejuani ults or something that's a good initiator already. It's good follow-up CC that you're already going to try to lock down one target, probably, considering a lot of the people that are really good right now, like Nautilus, can lock down one target really effectively. I think that this will be super nice to kind of get people away in a kind of Xin Zhao way, where he knocks people away when he ults, except the one target, but with a way different kind of champion. I don't know what he really fits the mold yet. I know we kind of debated a little bit of mid top bot. I could see it being anything, but I think if you go bot
jungle,
please run damage anywhere else. You need more damage if you run Urgot as your AD carry. He's great early, a lot of early damage, not late.
Yeah, I'm just to try him out.
There's the first Soapbox Derby, guys.
I want to know
Soapbox
if there
Derby
is going to be an indicator of how large the 350 range is when you land, and if not, is Riot going to add one? Because unless
That'd
you
be
read the
interesting.
patch notes, you're not going to know you're getting feared, and you're not going to know what the radius of the fear is. So, like as Punch
Well,
said,
but
like,
if
Surprise
don't-
on you for not reading
Yeah,
the
I was
patch.
about to say, like,
Which
you
is
don't get
fine.
indicators for anything.
This is what you get.
that's fine.
It's still hard to visualize that area, though.
You have to, like Punch said, you have to
there's a
awkwardly
big
walk around it.
arrow around the guy, and it goes.
But is that 350
So it might.
range? That's not 350.
Nah, probably not. They had a video of it. I'm gonna try to check it out real quick as we're talking. So if you want to go into something else, I can check that.
Well, we only have one change left to talk about, and that's Vi. Excessive Force. E. Cost was 60 mana at all ranks. It is now 40 to 60 mana. The damage was 5 to 65. It is now 10 to 90.
Mother of God.
Nice. Helps.
Top lane Vi.
Yes!
Oh my God.
Max attack speed, top lane Vi.
Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be great.
Nah, I'm
Punch Malphite in a rubble.
You don't need attack speed. You have 2 auto resets.
Yes, you do. Max attack speed, Rye. Let's go.
Don't pee on our Cheerios.
All right,
I will piss all over your Cheerios,
I
Frosted
love-
Flakes, whatever.
Adam, I love how you're on this attack speed buy train when like
No, it
I
was
playing.
No. That's not. It's not. I'm not on a hype train with it. I just like to joke about it because I think max attack speed Vi is just funny as fuck.
Okay, who amongst you has been in the games that I've played the Vi build that's like Devourer, T-Force, Blade of the Rune King into SV and Gauge?
I've never seen.
Someone's
you
done
build
that?
All right.
I mean, I've seen you do Devour Vi before, and it's hilarious.
I was
shit.
building
I
a
love
lot of
max
Devourer
attack
Vi
speed
right
Vi.
after Devourer came out because you can get like crazy procs, and after about 3 autos you can shred most tanks to like a quarter health. It was amazing. I'm going to be doing this again.
In normals, right?
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I won't
normals.
do it in ranked, but I'll do it in normals all day.
Just real quick,
agreed.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we all agreed this doesn't really help her at all.
No.
In, the meta. So she's maxing E last, correct? Q first, then W?
I mean, it depends on the route you want to go. Like, you could if she's going in Devourer, then you might see W second. But yeah, it's still Q first.
I guess the 20 mana cost
Devourer, though.
Well, I mean, hey, if you're gonna fuck around go Devourer, you're gonna get that W.
I mean, even if you don't max E, it helps because the mana. But like I think I said earlier, and just before the show, she doesn't really go anyway, and
she doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know. You usually max Q then W, if I recall. I haven't played her in a while, but I don't know where's she standing in the win rates right now. I just haven't seen her.
Would you be able to spam E more in the jungle to clear faster? I know it's on a charge system, so
yeah.
That's the thing. You weren't having that much of an issue spamming it because it is gated by the charge system.
And
so
your Q doesn't cost any mana, so your W doesn't cost any mana.
It doesn't cost any mana. In a way, and also with the new jungle items and the fact that as long as you're fighting, you are getting a little trickle of mana back every time you're fighting a jungle camp. Not that big of an issue with mana on E.
All right, well, that's fine.
Especially after you buy Sheen.
Oh!
Easy.
I thought we were done. We actually have a change to talk about real quick, and that's Devourer, because we mentioned it way, way earlier. This is going to round up the show.
Very beginning.
So, Devourer, all those changes we talked about previously in that 20 minutes of conversation we had last patch, completely irrelevant. Totally just out the window.
Good.
They decided to not go through with it.
And that's why we always say PBE.
Yeah, it had to have been us.
So now, the stacks you get off a Rift Herald went down from 5 to 2. That is the change. So Chira had a really good point about what you should be prioritizing.
So, if Rift Herald gives you the same amount of stats as the damn Scuttle Crab, and 2 Scuttle Crabs spawn, and the spawn timer is way shorter than Rift Herald, what becomes more important, children?
Rift Herald.
Chickens?
Gangs?
I hate you. I hate you so much.
The enemy jungle?
There's gonna be more. You're gonna have to pay attention to Scuttle Crab more than you would have to before, because like now you're gonna have to bank on getting those Scuttle Crabs over Rift Herald, and Dragon still gives you 5 stacks, so there's no reason to go to the top side of the map if Scuttle Crab's not up.
Yeah, good point. I think it's just to heal it. This makes it so it just takes a little bit longer to stack it instead of that 16 minute. It might be 16:30 instead, or 16:45.
Wait, to get it stacked at 60 minutes? You're going to be...
Yeah, it takes about 16:30 to 17 if you're like super farming fast to get it, right?
If you are farming crazy fast and you get every objective and every scuttle right around when you can do it, and you're getting kills, you'll get it around 16 minutes.
Right.
You're usually seeing it 18 to 19
right.
is the standard. So I would think that you're going to be seeing a lessened version of that. If you're fed, you'll be seeing it around 17 and a half. And I would say 19 to 20 minutes now would just be normally when people are finishing it all the way.
I can't imagine this changes the landscape of solo queue too much, though, by removing 3 stacks.
I mean,
it's 3 stacks per time you take it, so if you took it 2 times, that's...
It's
6 stacks.
Yeah, it's still big.
I honestly only see people usually take it once, though, and then they farm it up through gang. Like Yeez, they'll only take it once. They'll take the dragon once, maybe twice, and then they'll just power farm and gank like crazy.
Here's the big thing with this, though. Like, if you were able to get all those objectives, like let's say you were getting dragon and you were getting Rift Herald and you were getting the Scuttle Crabs, you're probably already winning anyway, regardless of how strong Devourer was.
Yeah.
So like, does this change that much? I don't think so. Yes, you're not going to be able to finish Devourer as fast, but if you're able to do what you were doing to get Devourer stacked that quickly, you're still probably winning.
I think that what this does, I mean, maybe this. What do you guys think it pushes back? If let's say the average completion time, and I'm just completely spitballing here because I have no idea. You said 16 minutes. Do you think that pushes back to 17?
No,
that's what. Yeah,
16 minutes is like if you are bad farming and just you're winning the game.
If everything goes right, you're like everything goes as great as it possibly could with trying to stack Devour, you're getting it around the 16-minute mark.
All right, so let's say it's 16-2 on the bad side being 20, 21. That pushes it to 17 to 22?
I would say the average side is like 19, 20 now.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe 18 and a half, but like 19, 20 is when you're going to see it more. If you're not having an easy time, like if it's 16 minutes and you're sitting at a 15 stack Devourer, you may as well sell it because you're not going to finish that till 30 minutes now. Easy.
Keep the stuff in mind when you're playing against Devourer Jungler too. Now you just want to take that dragon from them because they can't just trade the Rift Herald for it.
That's a good
and
point.
take crabs from them because
take the crabs, take the dragon.
Yeah, it's more important than it's ever been now.
Do you think that's the next step is to tune down the crab? Put that back to 1 to match all the rest. I mean, like, why is... I understand why crab is 2, because it's supposed to incentivize you to be more of a team player, but it's the easiest camp to take, arguably, because it doesn't fight you back.
I don't think there's any reason to continue to nerf Devour at all. Like, they just... In the notes, they're like, it's that time of year again where auto attackers are rampaging through the jungle and farming to the 20-minute mark, which I mean, they have statistics that back this up more than I do because it's Riot and they have access to all this shit. Mm-hmm. But I don't see that happening. Like the Devourers,
the top
best
5 right
players,
now are half of them are Shyvana, Udyr, Volibear, Skarner, Yi. So
the best Devourer players aren't just power farming.
No, absolutely not. Any Devourer player I've ever seen is ganking all the time and getting kills.
But this just hurts Devourer in a slight way. I mean, it's like a little love tap. Like I said, it might delay the average completion time by between 30 seconds and a minute 30.
Honestly, what they could do too is just reduce crab 1-to-1 on those, put dragon down to 3, keep Rift Herald at 2, and then like make it so that both buff camps gives an extra stack. So like red gives an extra, blue gives an extra. You can still get it. It's not going to be up nearly as often, so it still stays on a timer like that, and it actually rewards the enemy team if they're able to go in and take a buff.
I would rather not reward people for counter jungling. Like it's a neat idea, but I like rewarding people to take dragon because it is an epic monster.
There's already an incentive.
That and the scuttle crabs, the contested objectives.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that could potentially cause... all that does is by adding stacks on the buffs is... it doesn't do
people
anything
won't
to the
give
team.
up blue buffs.
It just makes it so the person
you
can
still
go
get
in
the
there.
stack. You still get the stack even if somebody else takes the buff. You just need to hit it.
Sure. And that's fine. I mean, yeah, it should work that way anyway. And I think it does already, doesn't it? You get the stack as long as
that's what I'm saying. It as long as you hit it, you still
But if
get
you're
a stack.
making it 3, then you're incentivizing counter jungling.
And that's fine.
But that's not great for the average player. Like you should be forcing players onto objective control over individual rewards like counter jungling.
But the thing, like counter jungling isn't just, nor should it be, just one person going into counter jungle. You like if you want to say bring it to team control, the best counter jungling is done when you go in to do something and your team can back you up to make the enemy jungler's day terrible. And if your team doesn't go in to help out, I don't think there's going to be a clean way necessarily to go about fixing issues that they perceive to be with this item. A way they might be able to help out, but it's just going to make the power jungling portion more, is if they remove the double stack from kills, or they put more focus on killing. So, like, what, you make it into the game?
Get a stack when the enemy uses flash.
Yeah,
there you go.
Like what? Unless they just want to tag way more stacks onto it. But
you get 1 per killing a champion, or 2.
You get 2 for killing a champion. That's why if you're using this correctly and you can pick up a kill, you should go get your kill. Especially if you can get like a double out of the bot, you get your 4 stacks there, immediately go pick up
dragon. Rift.
Kill or assist, you get the double. Yeah, you can take scuttle on that. You can get like 11 stacks in a very
I thought it was
short
2. It's just the way it's written in the wiki is kind of confusing because it says stacks on takedown, +1 for champions and large monsters. But then above it says takedowns grant Devourer stacks. So.
I want to continue to have this conversation, but we're having a lot of internet issues tonight. I actually don't think I'm hosting it right now. The more I think about it. So
well, we can come back to this.
I think we need to come back to the Devourer discussion. We need to come back to some of these jungle discussions again, probably on Wednesday. Hopefully, internet issues aside, and I hope this episode didn't sound like trash to anybody else, because it was kind of funny. I marked a spot where I was talking, and I realized that Chira was still talking while I was talking because he couldn't hear me. So he was finishing his point while I was finishing my point. So
that was a bunch of situations, and that's why
when I saw lagging, I generally stopped talking to. I think we'll be all right.
It'll be all right. People listened to this far, right? They made it to the end. Well, there it is. That's our patch 6.5 discussion, or at least first look discussion. As always, we will come back on the next episode and talk about everything that we talked about tonight, kind of go over it again. We'll probably have another Devourer discussion. We have some other topics lined up for the next few episodes. We do have a Patreon guest coming on this week. Guys, also don't forget another just big announcement. This one's big. Go check it out. Four Wards podcast had Pseudonaut and Bloodwater on to talk about the art of top lane last week, and the previous week they had
support.
Sorry, art of support. Bloodwater's support, and they had Quas and Pseudonaut on to talk about art of top lane the week before that. Sorry,
that's their second one on support, because they had
High.
High was art of mid lane.
High, that was Big Fat.
Jesus Christ, just go check them out.
They've had a lot of people. That's their second art of support one, though, so it's been updated. I think that was the first one that Pseudonaut came out with.
I always thought. All right. Well, go check it out. TrinityForceNetwork.com, and go check out the Four Words podcast. They've had some awesome guests on. You need to check them out. LCS Rundown's going to go over IEM Katowice this week, and they're going to talk about the very boring event that was IEM. I'm sorry, but that event was fucking terrible, and if you watched it, I feel bad for you. I feel bad for the LCS Rundown for having to suffer through that. All right, that's it. That's episode 341? Yeah, 341. Guys, we will see you all on Wednesday. Peace.
See ya.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Trinity Force podcast, part of the Trinity Force Network. If you liked our advice and would like to hear your question read on air, you can reach us at feedback@trinityforcepodcast.com. You can also check out all of our other awesome shows that we release on the weekly. Your first stop is at trinityforcenetwork.com, where you'll find links to the LCS Rundown, Four Wards, Sheen Procs, and OzLOL podcasts. Next, head over to youtube.com/TForce podcast to find weekly VODs of all our shows and Battle Arena. But the community doesn't stop there. You can find us on social media as T-Force Network or at patreon.com/T-Force Network to grab a Champion Select podcast. Finally, we're on Reddit at T-Force Network, where we post a link to all the VODs, podcasts, and have discussion about your favorite League of Legends topics. Thanks again for listening to the Trinity Force Network, and we look forward to seeing you in the community.